Hello everyone, welcome to the end of day one of Pro Tour Journey into Nix here in Atlanta. Rich Hagon, Brian David-Marshall with you. We are clutching the vital document of record, BDM.
Perhaps we should be, maybe we should be
Yeah.
clutching elsewhere.
Indeed. Hope you can hear me all right. It's time to go through the standings at the end of round 8. Let's get to the big board where the story of a tumultuous day one has unfolded. So first of all, BDM, sometimes we get 1A to 0, sometimes we get 2. This time it's 2, and what a pair.
Yeah, it's Hall of Famer Patrick Chapin sits on top of the standings at 8-0, mere tiebreaker points ahead of Josh Utter-Layton, the reigning player of the year at 8-0. It's kind of ridiculous. Team Channel Fireball and Team Channel Fireball, the Pantheon, on top of the standings once again.
Absolutely phenomenal performance by both of them.
But look at the 7-1s.
Yes.
I mean, this has just been, you know, we talked a lot about the cream rising to the crop in a block constructed tournament. And, you know, Joel Larson at 7-1. Todd Anderson, it's got to be one of his best day one performances of his career at the Pro Tour.
For sure. He's like a 50% career Pro Tour guy. 7-1 is bucking that trend well and truly.
Darwin Castle. I mean, that's...
You're the historian.
Yeah, I mean,
you've been watching him play Magic for 20 years.
I've been watching him play Magic since before there was a Pro Tour.
Quite.
So, but you know, Darwin is really the guy chasing, one of the guys chasing John for that, you know, most number of top 8s lifetime. You know, he's within shouting distance of adding another one to his record, resume this weekend.
Now, what about the next guy down, Andrea Mengucci? Imagine there's no story behind this guy at all, and you see 7-1, and someone has to sit him down tonight and say, hey, guess what? There's a Pro Tour happening where tomorrow you could make the top 8. But the story hasn't really been about top 8. It's been about a little imaginary crown.
Right, the king of the hill. So coming into this tournament, Sean Mclaren, the reigning Pro Tour champion, was the king of the hill. He was the last man standing at the end of Pro Tour Born of the Gods. So coming into Pro Tour Journey into Nix, he's the king of the hill, and he sits down in the feature match area, the table his, you know, to defend against all comers.
347 people, he doesn't play in round 1.
Right.
One, Andrea Mengucci, he does.
Yeah, with his slingshot and his like dusty pebble that he's picked up off the ground, enters into the arena to battle Sean Mclaren, and he takes him down. And suddenly, you know, the crowd roars, and he's crowned king of the hill. And he stays there for the entire day. He never leaves the feature match area. He plays every single round of day one in the feature match area, 8 rounds. The only person there to defeat him, Patrick Chapin. And I hope Andrea, you know, he looked a little flustered in that last match against Patrick. You know, he took one line of play, and then something happened in the game, and his line of play was sort of invalidated by what happened, but not necessarily doesn't make it an invalidated play. But I hope he can understand. He's like, you went 7-1 on the Pro Tour. You lost to a Pro Tour Hall of Famer in the last round, and you're in great shape to make top 8 tomorrow.
He really is.
I hope he can appreciate sort of the accomplishment.
And in a way, getting rid of the crown is one of the best things that can happen to him, because let's be honest, unless he's playing against God in round 1 tomorrow, he's probably not getting a feature match.
Right.
Really, you know,
Right.
and I think that's probably going to be very good for him.
Right.
He gets a couple of rounds.
The fabric is so coarse on those seats and steerage. It's going to be, you know, he's not going to know what to do.
All right, some more great stories amongst the 7-1s. Spain and Mexico represented, Ricardo Sanchez Garrido and Marcelino Freeman. But what about the developing story of Jared Butcher?
Yeah, Jared Butcher is someone who's in the running for Rookie of the Year. He finished 9th at the last Pro Tour. You know, relatively unknown player at the time. You know, made quite an impression on all of us. Did well at, you know, some other events since that Pro Tour, and now here he is, day one, and he is in great shape again. 7-1, Rookie of the Year candidate. Oh, by the way, Player of the Year candidate, Reed Duke, also 7-1, and in a great position to, you know, maybe get a gigantic, you know, Kurt ape off his back.
And hear the chunk taken out of Jeremy Desarney's lead
Well, that
in
would
Player of
happen
the Year race
too.
as well. One more 7-1 to show you, Andrew Beckstrom of the United States. But amongst the 6 and 2s, and there are more, by the way, our best estimate, there are going to be 5 or 6 tables worth of 6 and 2s. In fact, we can go all the way down to, yes, 49th place, Corey Lack, runner-up from the Magic Online Championship, is at 6 and 2. So there are 49 players on 6-2 or better, but just some of them there. Double Player of the Year, Yuya Watanabe, Dan Jordan, always in the mix, it seems. Elie Pichon, Guillaume Wafatapa of France, and no stranger to the winner's circle, Paul Reits.
Paul Reits. We talked about a couple of other players who are in the Hall of Fame mix this year when people are filling out their ballots. Paul Reits very much in that mix.
And do you know what he's done? He has the highest win percentage of anyone on God's earth against Hall of Famers. If you want someone to go into battle against the best of the best, Paul Reits is straightforwardly your man.
Well, he's got 2 of them he can chase down. 3 of them he can chase down ahead of him in the standings tomorrow.
Okay. Tomorrow, we will do all this again. 3 rounds of block draft, opening up, journey into Nix packs. Will it be a God pack? Will it be a dog pack? Will it be somewhere in between? That's my money. So, 3 rounds of that, then we come back for 5 rounds of block constructed down the stretch. And BDM, we must finish with a little word about block constructed. We always hope it's going to be diverse. We always hope it's going to be interesting. We always hope it's going to be exciting. Getting the trifecta is not an easy task for Wizards R&D to accomplish.
No, not at all.
Especially when block cannot be their main focus.
Yeah.
How did they do this time?
Well, you know, I'm just really sad that all the pundits were so right about how, you know, unexciting and uninteresting those Skrylands are going to be and constructed formats.
Yeah, they've done nothing for them at all. Right, sure. It's...
this is a very exciting format. You know, there's some really big sort of standout, like kind of cards front and center stage, but those cards can all go in a lot of different decks, get into a lot of different color pairs. You can go, you know, we saw, you know, green, red, white, where you're you know, green and white, you know, using red removal. We saw green and white using black removal, and the different things that you get off of that. So there's a lot of decisions that deck builders get to make, and we really saw people kind of playing to their strengths this weekend and being able to find a deck that not only was competitive, but suited to their muscle memory, you know, of their best tournament results.
Standard moving forward is going to be great if this is anything to go by.
Yeah.
What I can guarantee you is that tomorrow morning, 2 of the giants of the game, Hall of Famer Patrick Chapin, reigning Player of the Year Josh Utter-Layton, will sit down in that feature match area and go toe-to-toe for the last remaining perfect record at Pro Tour Journey into Nix.
And the all-important King of the Hill title.
Indeed. Thanks so much for being with us here on day 1. Let's do it all again tomorrow. On behalf of a vast team of video, text, all the people behind the scenes, the 349 players who put themselves on the line for 8 rounds today. Rich Hagon, Brian David-Marshall, bye.